Hey there, comic book friends. I'm Travis, and this is another edition of Monster Comics Reviews. This is for books for the second week of April. I'm going to kind of rip through some of these books. I have a lot of them. I don't want to split the video up, and I don't want to torture you by having to listen to me talk for 45 minutes or longer. First, we're going to talk about Batgirl issue 19. See if I can hold it where there's not quite so much glare. Gail Simone back on the book. Not that I thought Ray Fox did a bad job, considering the fact how he had to jump in for the few issues that he did. And Gail does an excellent job of picking up those pieces and moving on and giving us a pretty final feeling with how she deals with her brother. And yeah, pretty serious. A good issue. We get introduced to a transgender character, which people try to make into something. There was some conversation on a couple of their channels, a couple of their YouTube channels, about how DC made a big stink out of this, but there was no big stink out of Shining Knight in the Demon Knights book about her being transgender. Well, because I think there's a difference between the two characters in that I believe the character in here, you know, she's saying that she's transgender because she's trying to share a secret with Barbara, because Barbara's sharing secrets with her. And obviously she must do a very good job because, you know, otherwise Barbara, being the smart person that she is, would have figured it out sooner. And the Shining Knight is, well, the roommate in here, I'm assuming, not that I know how transgender people think, but that, you know, basically feels like she was born in a female's body, born in a male's body, but feels that he should be a female. Whereas the Shining Knight, I always got the impression from the Shining Knight character that she was hiding that she was a female. Not that she had a problem with being a female or felt that she should be a male, or that, you know, she was just born in the wrong body and should be a male. But that to do the deeds that she needs to do, that she fakes she's that. So I never really considered her to be a transgender character in the same sense that what the roommate is in this book. I think, to me, it seems like there's a difference between the two. And that's why, to some degree, there's a little more excitement about this, and I think Adam Monkeybot did an excellent job in the Brits thing, talking about the fact that this would be an important character. If you're a transgender person, finally getting some representation in a book, and not it being a spectacle. You know, it wasn't done in some spectacle fashion. It wasn't like Barbara walked in on her and found out that she had a penis or something crazy like that. You know, that they were sharing very personal secrets about each other. And that's, you know, that's when it was told. It was told in what would be, I feel like, a natural setting. And it's not a spectacle. It's just who she is. And it'll probably go forward from there with that just being the way it is. Kind of a thing, that would be nice, I would think, to start having some representation. And so I think that's a great thing, and a great thing about the book. But an excellent story all around. The thing I'm real curious about going forward, now you've got Barbara's mother knows that she's Batgirl, and I don't consider Barbara's mother very stable mentally. I mean, well, stuff she's gone through, the missing finger, the whole Joker thing and whatnot. And of course, her father shooting at her at the end of the thing, telling her that she should be under arrest for having killed his psychopathic son. Of course, he doesn't say psychopathic, but we all know that James is psychopathic. A psychopath. So, really interesting, really good book, and I'm not doing a very good job of going through these very quickly. Batman and Robin issue 19, excellent story. Holy crap, this is an excellent book. In my opinion, right now, this is my favorite Batman book. The emotional value and input that this title brings to Batman is incredible and is not done in any other book, and I don't think has been done in any other book. This issue is fabulous. It has Frankenstein in it, from Frankenstein Agent of Shade. Batman trying to figure out how to bring his son back. Just absolutely excellent. Like I said, the emote that this thing exudes is incredible, and Peter Tomasi and Pat Gleason should be heavily rewarded for giving us a Batman book that has the most substance and value, in my opinion, of all the Batman books. It's just so rich and so full. Just an incredible book. And then we get Batman. Oh yeah, and this had the Carrie in it, the kind of the Robin of the future in the Frank Miller books. She's not going to be Robin. She's not going to be Robin in any way, shape, or form. I mean, people got all kind of excited about that. That's kind of silly. Just seeing the gatefold cover, which was cool. But no big deal. Anyway, sorry, back to Batman. Batman, this issue actually confused me at the beginning because I thought this was the start of the 0 year, and Bruce comes out of a bank, and I think it's the whole bank robbery from the 0 issue of Batman, and then we're just starting off right from there, and it was really confusing for a few moments there before I realized that this was a current time. Last night I was on I did the Bat Channel with DaCosta DC Comics and Ben Fix It Smash and Incredible CJ and Captain Cummings, and I think they brought up a good point. The fact is that they mentioned in this, Gordon goes, "Hey, look, Bruce, I don't know what your problem is, but we've known each other since the 0 year." Like, who says that? That was just really strange. I mean, I don't get that at all. That just, to me, makes no sense whatsoever. Who refers to something as being a 0 year? That's just strange. 0 year what? That is bizarre. But, oh, there, yawn. But there, in this issue, it's got Clayface, who's really cool. I know this is just going to be like a short little thing, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was quite fine. The backup story in this is really interesting. Some people didn't like the art. I liked it just fine. I even thought Superman looks cool by Alex Maleev doing the artwork. It's kind of neat to see him do some DC work since we've been seeing him do so much Marvel stuff over the years. I really like the story. You know why I like the story in it? Because it really nails down while Batman is the kind of badass that he is. So they're in this situation. There's this supernatural thing going on. Superman is kind of wigged out by the whole thing because, of course, it's supernatural magic. It's not in Superman's thing. He's having problems seeing this entity, this ghost type thing. He's looking at it through all these different spectrums, and he's having a hard time seeing her, and he's just kind of freaking out over the little thing. And Batman is just calm, cool, and collects the little thing. Just, okay, cool your jets. Tell me what you're seeing. He's so business, whereas Superman, he's got all these freaking superpowers, right? I mean, he's Superman, right? He's the most powerful, one of the most powerful beings in the DC universe, and he's getting all freaky over this ghost thing. And Batman's like, yeah, just cool your jets. We got it under control. It just really kind of just helps solidify why Batman can hang with people like Superman and tow his own weight. Things like that. Pretty cool. Oh dear. John Constantine issue number 2. I don't think I'm going to keep collecting this book, solely because it doesn't have the charm that the old one had, and I don't want to feel like I'm reading every issue and going, oh, what this could have been like if it was the old John Constantine from the Hellblazer book. But this actually was a pretty darn good story. I still am really not happy with the way he let the person die in the last issue. There are threats for him to pay for it here, which were kind of interesting. It was fun watching him basically talk down the Spectre. That was kind of cool. That kind of felt John Constantine-like. But as I said, wasn't bad. If you're not familiar with the old one, this is probably a pretty fun book. I would probably be more on it than what I am. But like I said, I think I'm going to be done with it. Because I don't want to try and reconcile the two, which is probably silly of me, and I'm probably going to be missing out on something. And maybe if it continues to be great, and I hear people talking about great is, maybe it's something I'll pick up in trades as we go along, just to look at. But at this point, I'm going to save a few bucks by not collecting this, I think, despite it being a decent read. Like I said, if you don't know the Hellblazer thing, this is probably a really good read. An interesting character with a much stranger dynamic than what most of the superhero type comics go and whatnot. We'll see how the sales continue. I'll be curious. Okay, Fantastic Four, issue 6. So I read this book. We get to the end of it, and Reed Richards and Sue Storm's son, which I'm drawing a blank on his name right now, Ben Jr., whatever the heck his name is, does some Uber stuff. Okay, so I'm like, I don't know what's going on here. So I get on Twitter. I'm like, okay, guys, tell me what these people's powers are, these two kids' powers are, because I don't understand what's going on here. And I basically get a rundown. The fact is that the kid has got some mutant godlike power. I mean, he basically has influence over reality in some sense or another. Really? So he's kind of godlike in a way. And in this book, at the end, he literally winks the spaceship and all the Fantastic Four crew from this book from the very beginning of time, where they're witnessing the Big Bang, to seemingly what's supposed to be, and we don't see it yet because, of course, it's in the next issue, to the end of time. Just like that. Just wills it to happen. Seriously? Okay, so my problem with this whole comic now is, if there's a kid that can do this kind of stuff, that he can will reality to change however he wants to or whatever, what the hell is Reed Richards' problem? Go up to his kid and go, hey, look, on a cellular level, I'm falling apart. I need some help here. Help me out. And the kid helps him out. Right? What am I missing? Other than there's no story to tell if we do that. Because I ordered my comics last week, and this isn't on my poll anymore. I'll get a few issues because, of course, I always pre-order issues in advance. But it isn't capturing enough for me. And this at least kind of had some kind of action stuff, kind of maybe something going on, but to me that's just a huge hole in the plot. Am I wrong? Those of you reading Fantastic Four, am I confused on his powers? Am I confused on what he can do, and why it doesn't just make sense for him to, to just fix it? No. Anyway, pretty well done with that. Fearless Defenders number 3. This is a very fun issue. You get the girls all together. They pick up Marvel's version of Wonder Woman's mom. And they go out on this journey to find the Doom Maidens. Of course, they do find the Doom Maidens, and things are not going well. Interesting twist at the very end. The art is somewhat inconsistent to me. It's like, people are drawn away, and then there'll be a scene where they'll be kind of a little misshapen. But I like the banter between all of the women is absolutely awesome. Clear down to the female archaeologist who has some superpowers, is just walking around with the silly Viking helmet and the axe. I like them all. The interaction between all the ladies is just fun. It's fun banter. And it's fun banter that people would just have. It's not, ooh, look, or girls having pillow talk, or any of that kind of silliness. Cullen Bunn's just writing a story, and the main protagonists are women, and they've got a job to do, just like men would have a job to do, and they're just doing it, and it's pretty cool and really fun. So I'm liking it so far. It's not like, mind blowing, plot line or that sort of thing. But as far as a superhero comic book goes, it's just plain a fun, good romp of a book, and I'm enjoying it. Hawkeye, issue 9. I Heart Hawkeye. I really like the issue. This issue is pure setup. I mean, it really is. This issue is pure setup for what's coming next. So if you don't have the patience for that, this book might be upsetting. But man, I really love it. I love the art style. I love the whole, they're playing cards with the cards stuck to the head, that whole meetup, the kind of, 3 or 4 women in Hawkeye's life, each of them decide to go and check out Hawkeye and what's going on in their own kind of way. I thought was really interesting. I like the bro guys. And I didn't think they were in it that much, but I think they're funny. They can be funny. I'm really bummed out at the very end of this. The very end of this, someone gets killed. That bums me out. I really like that character. It'll be interesting to see what happens next. Why he would have killed this new character that I'm familiar with. Those of you who read this, oh my God, who are familiar with the Marvel Universe, do you know who this white face-painted guy is at the end of it? Or is he some new threat that the Russians have hired to take care of Hawkeye? There's just lots of little stuff. I love this. They're trying to figure out where he lives. The 3 female Avenger women are. They go to Kate. Kate's like, well, don't you have phone records or whatever? And of course, there's just all kinds of great little stuff in it. I just really still am enjoying the heck out of the book. Other people must be too. It's getting critical acclaim still. Nominated for Eisner. I really like it a lot. This issue is all set up for I think what's coming next and stuff. Whereas all the issues before this have had their own heavy spin to them. This one has less so, but I still think it's really good. I think it's, like I said, excellent setup for what's going to come next. And see what kind of craziness ensues. Really excited by the book. The Shadow, issue 11. Francavilla cover here. This ends this storyline with King of Spain. We find out the King of Spain is not all that impressive. This attempted King of Spain is impressive, that he's been manipulated. Manipulated, of course, by the Black Sparrow, who basically is a female version, evil version, kind of the Shadow in a way. She doesn't have the same life experiences, obviously, and whatnot, but she has her own uniqueness about her, her own ability to cloud the minds of men, and that sort of thing. And she, presents a challenge for a while. This issue shows just how brutal the Shadow is. He has a pretty permanent solution to her, it seems. Maybe. We don't actually see the body just, when all said and done, but chances are she's no more. Good use of Orson Welles in this at the end of it, and a little bit of a message there. We'll see what the next arc brings. I'm still really enjoying this. I really like the character. This arc ended up not having as much substance as some of the other arcs have had. So I'm going to read the next arc, see what it's like. I don't know if it's the same writer doing it or not. If it gives me something more, I will continue with this book because I really do like the Shadow character. If it's not, this is one of the books that tends to be more on the expensive side. It's a $4 book. It may be something that I turn around and hold off on and buy in some sort of a trade instead of singles now that I've been reading it for a year. But I still enjoy it. This is a good end to the end to the to this arc. It had a satisfying ending to it. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Lastly, Thor: God of Thunder. I'm still really digging this story. It's just cool. It's cool seeing the two Thors interact with each other. Our current day Thor trying to come to grips with the fact that the future Thor is the All-Father. What happened to your eye? You're using the armor, it's just a lot of really cool stuff like that. The art in it is incredibly rich. This is the beginning of the God Bomb. I believe I'm collecting it through the rest of the God Bomb stuff. Another $4 book that I'm thinking about moving away from. But it's really good. The art is outstanding in it. That's the big draw. I think that Jason Aaron is writing a solid story. Has me interested in Thor in some sense, and that's a character I've never been interested in. But there's that, and I think I'm done because I keep yawning. Still got the yawns, horribly so. We've about determined that the reason I got the yawns so bad is because between allergies and whatever else is going on, my nasal passages are so clogged up in my nose currently that if I do these long talks like this and I don't take time to stop and breathe normally, that then I'm not getting enough oxygen, so my body forces oxygen in with that good old yawn. So I apologize for that. Hopefully at some point it goes away. Maybe going back to a doctor to see if there's something that can be done to alleviate that's not habit forming or steroids or that sort of thing. Otherwise, I ride out this time of the year and see if it gets better as we roll into summer. But anyway, information you don't need to know nor care about. So that's it for the comics this week. Hopefully, I'll be back again next week with more comics. Enjoy the rest of your day.